So around about a month ago, I laced up the latest Trailfly from INOV8 and took them out for their first run around Tehidy Woods. I managed to clock up just under 10 miles on a big mix of terrain, and I was really happy with how they performed. A comfortable, well-fitting upper, a nicely cushioned, flexible midsole. But since that first run, I've clocked up another 50-ish miles in the new Trailflies. So I thought it was about time we brought you a full in-depth review. So let's dive into the video and find out if these have continued to impress. Welcome back everyone, and thanks for joining us for another video. If you're new to the channel, then I'm really happy you've discovered us. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. So this is the place where you'll find informative, interesting, genuine running shoe reviews, running kit videos, also training tips and advice. We'll have the odd occasional short inspirational film and race day videos from the UK and big overseas adventures, all sprinkled with a little bit of light-hearted humour along the way. But let's get back to today's shoes in question, and it is the new Trailfly from INOV8. Let's jump into the video and find out how they performed over the last couple of months. We always like to start off with a few facts and figures, then I'm going to break down this new construction in a bit more detail, and then we'll wrap up the video with a quick conclusion where we score the new Trailfly out of 30 on price, comfort and performance and durability. And speaking of price, they retail in the UK for a pretty reasonable £130. My pair in a UK 10 tip the scales at 313 grams, and they run off a 6mm heel offset with an overall stack height of 29mm at the heel and 23mm under the forefoot. They are available in 3 different colourways for men and for women, including this very strange looking ivory colour option. As far as the construction goes, I'll start at the top with the upper first, and we actually saw quite a few big changes from the INOV8 brand at the beginning of the year, and this new anatomical shape to their running shoes was one of them. That's been designed to sort of hug the natural contours of the foot, locking down in the heel, wrapping around the midfoot, and then getting wider towards the toe, just to give the upper a nice, secure, comfortable feel. The shoe's actually available in 2 width options. Now, I haven't got the widest of foot shapes, so I went with the standard fit, and you can see we've still got good width and good volume in the toe box of the standard shoe. As far as the rest of the upper design goes, it's quite a simple, clean look from INOV8 this time round. We've got a nicely padded, gusseted tongue. We've also got a soft and flexible ankle collar and heel cup, and we've got a good amount of sort of structural overlay. So starting at the heel, working down the midfoot, around those lace eyelets, and then finishing up, wrapping around that toe box. And that's going to give this soft upper a little bit of extra substance, but it's also going to help when it comes to durability. And then the overlays on the toe have just been doubled up, and that's going to offer a bit more on-trail protection from a nice toe bumper. Midsole cushioning comes in the shape of INOV8's PowerFlow Pro foam to give you a nice, comfortable yet connected ride. We've also got the addition of their flexible Metashank rock plate worked into that midsole. So that's going to give you a little bit more underfoot protection against sharp rocks or tree roots when you're running on more technical trails. And then finishing off the construction, if I flip them over, you can see that we've got a 4mm multi-directional lug pan on the outsole, and this has been designed for running on rocky, sort of compacted, dry trails. It's got a good helping of INOV8's graphene grip rubber on that outsole, and INOV8 have been working with graphene for a number of years now because of all the sort of durability properties it brings to the table,
with it being one of the toughest materials on the planet.
INOV8 also claim that this new blend of graphene rubber in 2024 is going to offer us a better level of grip when we're running in wet conditions. So there you have it, a few facts and figures and a bit of info about the construction of the new Trailflies. But now we're going to dive into how the shoes have performed for me over the last couple of months. Now, INOV8 for me have always been that brand that doesn't quite tick all the boxes. There's been lots of aspects of their shoes over the years that I've really enjoyed, but there tends to be an element that just doesn't work for me or I don't get on with, whether it's a stiff, uncomfortable ankle collar, an under-padded tongue, or the fit of the shoe just doesn't work for my foot shape. However, after my first run in these, I had really high hopes. First up, I'm a big fan of the fit and the overall shape of this new upper. Great hold in the heel, awesome lockdown around my midfoot, and I've really got on with this new gusseted tongue design. I was so happy to see a bit of padding in that tongue this time round, rather than the under-padded, super thin tongue design that INOV8 used to use in a lot of their shoes. I never really got on with that, and it did cause me a few sort of discomfort issues over the years where that tongue was just too thin and those laces would pull down quite tight and uncomfortably across the top of my foot, and distance was an issue. However, this new padded tongue design has been super comfy no matter what the distance. It's also really nice to have all that wiggle room from this new anatomical fit that INOV8 are using on their new shoes. It is very Outsole-like. It gives you lots of room to splay those feet under impact, and it really has just been a very comfortable experience. I've had no rubbing, no irritation or anything like that, and in fact it's felt like a super comfy pair of slippers ever since I got it out of the box and took it on that first run. So I don't really have any negative feedback when it comes to upper fit, feel or performance. Moving down to the midsole, and it is a very similar story there. So this PowerFlow Pro foam has offered me good levels of comfort on all types of terrain. You know, I wouldn't call the new Trailfly a deeply cushioned shoe, but it has given me that perfect balance between sort of comfort and connection to the trails. I think a lot of the overall comfort is enhanced by having a pair of the brilliant boomerang footbeds inside the shoe. I've been a massive fan of these ever since I first tried them, and they really do offer you a nice, comfortable, plush feel close to the foot. They also seem to be pretty durable, so they keep that bouncy feel for a long time. With a lot of trail shoes getting deeper stacks of cushioning and, dare I say it, the dreaded carbon fibre plate these days, it was really nice to run in a trail shoe that has a flexible midsole. So really good flex at the midfoot and in toe off, and it makes the new Trailflies feel very nimble and very responsive, but also nice and planted and stable when I was running on more technical trails. The only thing I would say is this PowerFlow Pro foam is quite dense when you push into it, and it does make it a little bit heavier, and as I hold the shoe sort of in my hand, it does feel a little bit bottom heavy, but you know, that really is me just splitting hairs, because the new Trailfly hasn't felt heavy or unbalanced when I'm out there running on the trails. And finally, outsole performance has been good on all types of terrain. Like I mentioned earlier, it's been designed to run on rocky trails, compacted paths, sections of tarmac, or sort of loose gravelly fire roads or tow paths. I think it would struggle in heavy mud just because it hasn't got the depth of lug to deal with those types of conditions. But on everything else, I've been really happy with the level of grip and level of traction it's given me. You can probably tell already that it has been a very positive and enjoyable experience for me running in the new Trailflies. But we've reached that time in the review where we need to get some points on the Run4Adventure board. So we're going to start scoring, and we're going to start with price point first. Now, I realise £130 is still a lot of money to spend on a pair of running shoes, but I think in the crazy world of running shoe prices these days, with them getting more and more expensive, for a comfortable and versatile trail shoe, that's actually pretty reasonable. Now, how times have changed, you know. I used to think that £100 was a lot of money to spend on a pair of running shoes back in the day, but you know, that is the world we live in. So I'm going to score the new Trailflies a pretty reasonable 8 out of 10 when it comes to price. Moving on to comfort and performance, and finally I've got an INOV8 shoe that kind of ticks all of those boxes. So a super comfy, great fitting upper. In fact, every time I sort of put this shoe on and go out for a run, it surprises me how comfortable they are. You know, we've got a good level of padding in that tongue and around that ankle collar, and then we've got that added bonus of a nice roomy toe box. I've always been a fan of how Outsole shoes sort of fitted and felt on my foot shape, but I never really got on with that zero drop thing. So these have been just right for me. And no complaints about midsole performance either. I personally think the combination of this PowerFlow Pro foam and the brilliant boomerang footbeds have offered me a nice level of comfort over distance, but I still feel well connected to the trails. So quite a tricky thing for a trail shoe to pull off. It's run well on technical rocky sections, but it also soaks up sections of tarmac with ease. So again, I think the Trailfly is going to score high here for comfort and performance. I think if that midsole had just been a few grams lighter, it might have even got a 9, but I am going to knock off 1 point for that, but they're still going to get a solid score of 8 out of 10 for comfort and performance. And last but not least, the all-important topic of durability. Now, obviously this is a tricky thing to score after only 60 miles, but I think you do get a good idea after that kind of distance how a shoe is going to hold up over time. And I've got to say it, they're looking pretty solid at the moment. So no early signs of wear at the flex point on that upper, no lift or peel on the overlays, and zero wear on this graphene rubber outsole, which is a real positive thing because, you know, over the years there has been some durability issues with certain models within the INOV8 lineup. So it's great to see the new Trailflies holding up well. And because of that, I'm going to score it another good score and actually another 8 out of 10 for durability. So tallying up all those points, you know, when I was back at school all those years and years and years ago, yeah, 3/8 was 24. So we're going to give the Trailfly from INOV8, the latest version of this very popular trail shoe, a top performing 24 out of 30 here at Run4Adventure. We tend not to score looks at the channel anymore because, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder and looks is a very, very subjective thing. But I've got to be honest, you know, it's not the greatest looking shoe in the world. It's not that exciting in this light blue, sort of dark blue colorway. I think it does look a bit stronger in the grey, black and red color option. And as far as the ivory shoes going on, that is proper out there. Can you imagine how bad that would look after one muddy run here in the UK? I don't know what INOV8 were thinking there. I actually think it would have looked awesome in a black and grey colour option with some of the details picked out in that vibrant bright green from INOV8 that we all know so well. You never know, they might do that colour option in the future. However, for the latest colourways, the way the shoe looks, unfortunately, the new Trailfly is going to get a thumbs down here at Run4Adventure. As far as trail shoe comparisons go, so other trail running shoes that feel similar when it comes to fit, feel and performance, I did mention it earlier that this new anatomical fit from INOV8 is very Outre-like, so you know they do feel very similar to say a Lone Peak within the Outre lineup as far as the feel of the upper, but we got to remember this has got a 6mm heel offset, so it's not a zero drop shoe. And also this midsole isn't a million miles away from a Saucony Peregrine 13 when it comes to the level of comfort and protection it offers. So wrapping up with a quick conclusion, and like I mentioned earlier, I predicted a strong year for the INOV8 brand with all the big changes that they're making in 2024, and for me that prediction has come true. So big fan of this great fitting comfy upper. I'm really happy to see the back of those under padded thin tongue designs and stiff ankle collars, and you know, for me this new upper on the Trailfly is without doubt the most comfortable INOV8 upper I've ever run in. Midsole performance, really good balance between comfort, connection, protection and flexibility, and you know, dare I say it, this is probably for me the best all-round trail shoe INOV8 have ever made. Obviously that is just my humble opinion, but if you are in the market for a very versatile, comfortable trail shoe with a great fitting upper, lots of sort of wiggle room and volume in that toe box, then the Trailflies really are worth a closer look. It would also be great to hear your feedback, guys, so if you've racked up some good mileage in the new Trailflies, let us know how the shoe's performing for you in the comments below. But on that note, it is a wrap on another full review here at Run4Adventure. Really hope you enjoyed it, really hope you found it helpful. Don't forget, if you did, to like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it really is a big help. But until next time folks, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, it's really appreciated. We'll be back here very soon with some more exciting running content, and as always, stay safe and keep on running. Anatomical shape to their shoes was one of them, so that's been designed to give a natural sort of fitting. As far as the rest of the upper goes, it's quite a simple queen. Why do I keep saying queen? It's not a simple queen, is it? It's a simple clean. Come on, Lloyd, get your words right. Stop waddling up your words.